Attention A1 Trading Show fans. If you're looking to get funded, we've got a solution for you. Our partnered prop firm FX2 Funding helps traders get access to up to $200,000 in trading capital. FX2 Funding is not your average prop firm. We've chosen them as our partner because of their fair examination rules, their professional and available customer service, and they have an outstanding reputation in the prop firm space. Here's a quick look at their evaluation process. First, they don't have a time limit on their evaluations. That means that you can take your time when passing your evaluation. There's no pressure to rush your trading. Second, there is only one phase to pass in their evaluation before getting access to your funded account. Also, their evaluation fees are fairly priced and fully refundable upon passing. Once you're funded, you'll be able to keep up to 85% of your trading profits. Finally, a rule we know swing traders will love: you can hold your positions over the weekend. For a limited time, get 15% off any of their account challenges with promo code A1Trading15. That's 15% off any account challenge with code A1Trading15. If you're ready to get funded, we're dropping a link in the chat right now, and you can also find it in the description down below. So go ahead and get signed up today for 15% off with promo code A1Trading15. Now, back to the show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream here. This one, of course, is a big one, and there's a number of you guys already here. So thank you for being a part of today's show. Today, we are coming in on the meeting minutes from the Federal Reserve. And if you are newer to trading and you don't know why this matters, here's a little bit of a heads up for you. In terms of meeting minutes give us basically the show notes of the last meeting from the Federal Reserve, which of course can give us some very important updates as to where the Federal Reserve is looking to go next with their monetary policy. Is there hints that there could be more rate hikes coming? Is there kind of a satisfaction with how things are going and no need to rate hike? That is, of course, it's reading the tea leaves a little bit as to why or what the Federal Reserve may do next. Currently, I have a gold short that is still in play. I'll show you guys my position here. I am currently up about $312. It is a very small short for me, but we are short gold going into this report. I have my stop loss in place for a good reason, so we'll keep an eye on this one. So again, I am short XAUUSD and took this one inside of the VIP group here this morning, and it has just fallen apart since, which of course, as a short seller, that is a good spot to be in. Question is, will these meeting minutes have some impact on our trades? We are just about over 10 minutes here from the actual release of those meeting minutes, and helping me to go through this, we're going to bring in Mr. FX Big Dog. So he is coming in. We'll say hello to Gary. Hey, Gary, how's it going?
It's going good. How's it going with you, buddy?
It's good. Welcome back to the show. Of course, Gary, today I was just mentioning we've got the meeting minutes coming out in just over 10 minutes. So hopefully you and I we can jump into some charts, some setups, and prepare for this this potentially market moving news. I just mentioned, Gary, that I am in a gold short trade. This is a lower time frame trade. It's only an hourly chart. I know in our last conversation, you actually mentioned that gold looked primed for some more downside. So I'd love to get your thoughts on gold. But then after that, Gary, maybe we'll come back after that to whatever else you're trading. What do you think on gold here? I know it's a pressing question for a lot of people in the audience.
Yeah, so I did actually talk about gold, and I did speak about the potential of gold going low, and I even spoke about the market going down all the way to 1815, so 1815. The thing here is that everything is going to be relative to the what the market conditions are telling us right now, and there is something BRICS. You probably heard of the group BRICS. This is it is Brazil, India, China, South Africa, as well as who's the other country? I'm missing one of them. That is Russia. There we go. And they are getting together, and they're talking about, they actually got a summit taking place now in the next week, and they're talking about a new currency, and that new currency is going to be backed by gold as well. I think that that dollar's going to take a big toll. We know that dollar falls, gold rallies, and I think gold is going to sustain some support, and it's going to rally. Now that new currency won't be created overnight. It's going to take some time, but I think as this starts digesting into the marketplace, I think we're going to start finding more support in gold, and that we may not get to that 1,815 level that I anticipated, but
Sure.
it's still out there. The market's still seriously bearish. But we are at a support level at the moment right now from a previous low. We'll see if the market gets through that.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, Gary, is, you have a lot of stuff with the gold traders out there. Fundamentals are very interesting. You have the BRICS nation stuff, which is kind of one hand of the trade, and then the other side of things is you have the China slowdown stuff, Gary, and that also fundamentally can throw a little bit of momentum here to the downside. This one, again, that catalyst being really strong here. Chinese economic data showing some slowdown. The real estate world they've got going on over there is troubling, to say the least. And so that fear has actually been driving gold down. And one of the reasons for that, you might say, well, doesn't fear drive gold higher? Well, remember, China is a massive exporter of everything, right? You go to the store and everything's made in China. Well, they are of course, with that, they demand quite a bit in terms of materials, right? So the oil market, all commodities, right? They need to, copper and silver and gold. They demand materials in order to produce all the things that they produce. So if their economy is showing slowdown, we can think up the supply chain and say, oh, well, if their economy is really slowing down and showing continued signs of that, there's a lesser demand for some of these commodities like silver and gold. So a big driver to the downside for gold right now is, of course, that. Gary, we do have just about 8 minutes to prep for the meeting minutes that will be coming out. So I don't want to spend too much time, talking macro wise.
Yes.
I want to ask you, with this meeting minutes coming around the corner, you mentioned talking a little bit about dollar, perhaps a rotation to the downside coming. If you want to share your screen, feel free to do so. I'd love to just see if you have any charts or anything that you're kind of really watching, or if you have any trades open as we speak, that would be cool too.
Yeah, so absolutely. I actually thought I'll share my screen. I do apologize for that. So this is the deal here is if I go ahead and take a look at the dollar index chart right here, and I look at how it's set up right here. I'm a big trader when it comes to wave structure. And so we've now just recently gone ahead and traded in this 5-wave structure right here. And we've come all the way up to the 1.27. So there could be some push to the upside still. But overall, we're expecting the dollar to fall. I'm expecting dollar to fall. And I can back it up with other currency pairs as well. Like this is the dollar index. And if I go to US dollar CAD right here, knowing that we've got dollar and we've got CAD that we're contending with, we've got the dollar sitting up with the similar setup right here. This is the US dollar CAD, a similar setup where we have the wave structure 1, 2, and then 3 up here. A very strong move to the upside, but correction is due. So there is definitely a correction move expected. Now, if you take a look at I think it was July 12th, we had the FOMC also come out with their with the news, and we saw the market on the day rally with the US dollar CAD, but then it dropped back down south. In fact, this is it right here. Sorry, it wasn't the 12th; it was the 6th. The 5th was the move. The 5th was actually FOMC, and then we had the next move, which was the 6th, where the market moved back down. So on the day when the news came out, it actually created a stronger move to the upside. And if you look from a technical perspective, it came all the way up to this resistance and respect that resistance, and then turned back down south again. So I'm going to say that the market's going to respect this level that we're at resistance here, also coming from the previous lows over here and lows and highs. In fact, I might have to pull it out a little. There we go. You can see here we've got some lows and we've got some highs, and the market's right up here. So there's going to be some price rejection. I think this is going to be that time. I think we're going to get this taking place today. Even if it's a short-term move, we're going to get some downside move in the short term.
Fair enough. Yeah, and Gary, I want to kind of follow you on that dollar concept. If I show you something here, turning just for a second to the indices and how that dollar potential weakness, if your call there kind of plays out well, it could perhaps also signal kind of a bottoming in the indices for the short term. Because of course, for those of you guys who are lesser aware, a weaker dollar right now would perhaps suggest that, the Federal Reserve is going to kind of continue its cool down on rate hikes and that sort of thing, which the stock market would love. So if you're watching indices for the guys and girls who trade the NASDAQ, for the Dow traders, for the S&P traders, right? We're kind of hitting at what I would say kind of the last line of defense in terms of support levels off of this daily chart. So to go along with Gary's concept on the dollar index, if that dollar index starts to rotate down, what we may see on the indices side is perhaps this support zone starting to find a bottom. And if that does occur, guys, there's a lot of upside there for the indices to kind of return back to the highs. Now, I would caution, of course, if that does not play out and we do start to see, breaks of this support zone further, you may start to see a continuation in the sinking of the indices at this time. But I just wanted to kind of rotate it that way. We have people in the audience who are currency traders, primarily gold traders out there. We've got indices traders. It's cool just to have a rotation. And guys, if you would just real quick, what do you guys trade? Let us know in the chat. Blow us up with what you guys trade. We'll maybe continue to try and cover some more things here ahead of the meeting minutes, which do come out in just a couple minutes here, guys. We're very, very close. So Gary, indices, of course, like I said, one side of the coin. I actually have not been trading the indices as much, this past week and a half, just because I think we kind of lost some of our steam there. I was trading them long quite aggressively, riding the trend. As you know, I love to trend follow. As soon as that trend kind of starts to fall apart for me, I'm out of the way for the short term. But dollar index, I think, really kind of the story here for the time being. We've had a really impressive breakout, but to add concept to idea, Gary, too, here's the daily chart. We have this huge level of resistance. Look at what happened the last time we traded in this area, 103.5. We just had a couple tops here form, followed by a massive sell-off in the dollar. I mean, this was a dramatic drop on the dollar index, moving down just shy of 4% in a very brief period of time. So clearly sellers have been active in this area previously. It will be very interesting to see if this level can get a bigger interest from the sell side. And perhaps we start to see some hints of that here today with the meeting minutes. That's, of course, why we are kind of all watching the stream. Gary, any other major pressing ideas here before we go on?
Yeah, just go to if you switch over to my chart, you can see that I've got the Dow open over here, and just on your point there, you can see that we broke out of this. We saw this rising wedge, but it broke out of it, and now this area right here is becoming the support level. So that resistance becomes support for the market right here. We've got a wave structure forming here: wave 1, wave 2, breakout. Now wave 4 in here, which is pretty normal to see this create a sort of a zigzag little pattern right here. And so yes, I would think that we're going to see the market go back up again, test this 127, and a lot of traders will be looking at this and say, hey, well, the oscillator is pushing down. Yeah, well, this is where it creates that divergence, right? It goes up there, and then we see momentum still pushing down, but price moving higher. And so I think we're going to see a nice little push on the Dow, and we're going to get up to about 36,264 before we start seeing some turnaround to the downside. So that, again, is another confirmation that we're seeing what I'm seeing on the dollar index, what I'm seeing on the US dollar CAD is all lining up. And now the Dow is also telling me that, hey, there is some upside move, which means that we're going to move into a risk-on environment, which means dollar's going to sell off, and we're going to see stock market rallying.
And I love that you brought that up there too, Gary, because just the importance of, watching that dollar for people in the audience, whether you trade currency pairs, gold, indices, the common thread between all of it is the US dollar, right? The US dollar is so, so very important. Even if you're trading non-dollar currency pairs, the dollar still matters because it does kind of set the precedent for the global stage. Are things bullish? Are things bearish? Are things optimistic? Are things pessimistic? And following that dollar trade, very, very important. Anything else pressing here, Gary, before we jump over for the news?
Nope. I think we just wait up and see what happens.
Okay, very cool. Well, Gary, we've got a minute here before the news actually comes out. I do want to just thank you for coming on the show. We'll go from here in terms of where meeting minutes. Usually, it's not a dramatic spike. Sometimes it is, but rarely it is. It's more of those. It's the show notes from the big Fed meeting. So it may play out here for the next 30 minutes, guys. If you're expecting a spike, it could happen. It could not happen. But I do want to just thank Gary for coming on. Gary, we're going to drop your link to your channel down below in the chat right here. If you guys would like to check out Gary, please subscribe to his YouTube channel. Here it is. Gary, thank you as always for coming on the show. We do really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Nick. Have a good one, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you. You too. All right, guys. And we are going to pivot here. We've got breaking news. So let's roll it. And we are just coming into the meeting minutes being released here. And again, spikes sometimes, but not usually. It's one of those reports. It takes time for the market to get the report, to take a look at what was said. Usually on these streams, I don't necessarily pull up the actual report. I rather just watch the charts and look out for headlines as they roll out. As very quickly from now, headlines, news coverage is going to start rolling in. And if you guys have something, do me a quick favor. If you guys have some show notes or some notes from the meeting minutes that have dropped, please drop them in the chat and share with the crowd, and I'll pull them up for everybody to take a look at. Like, for example, if you see a headline that seems really important. So far, my gold trade is still going. We are currently short gold inside of VIP. I've got a $300 trade rolling. It's a small size. I knew that the meeting minutes were coming out today, so I didn't want to take a huge position by any means. So I am short gold, and we'll see if this one wants to play ball here. Again, overall idea was we retested this level of resistance here off of the hourly chart. So hourly chart resistance, downward trend, downward momentum, and stop loss is very, very tight here. We're running a very, very nice trade so far already on this gold trade. I mean, right now we're floating about, what is that? It's about a 3.5 risk reward already, which you love to see that. Nick, are you still on the EU trade? No, I trailed out for a profit. So profitable on EU this week. I took one gold winner already, and this is the second gold winner so far. Yeah. Fed not done raising rates, says Nathan. Thank you for that update. Again, if you guys find anything, please drop it in the chat. I'm going to be looking out for, of course, updates if anything comes out from the meeting minutes. Stocks still struggling here. No immediate reaction, of course, to the meeting minutes. Guys, I will say this. Again, like I said, meeting minutes are not usually a spiking event. However, volatility will likely increase for the next few hours. So we're going to be here. We're going to be covering some ideas. Most officials still see inflation risks, potential need for higher rates. Mighty King, thank you very much for that. All per Bloom, further tightening of policy. Here's the thing, guys. Market seems to not necessarily like that, right? We can actually see that's good. Hawkishness right now would be good for my gold trade. Participants said the labor market was still very tight, although signs emerging that labor demand in a better balance. Labor market being tight, them acknowledging that, I would say that's generally pretty hawkish for the US dollar. Look at that. Gold's still moving lower. This trade alert was shared inside of the Discord. We are still running in profit. If I make any updates to this, I will be doing so inside of the group. I'm looking for a lower high. For members, I'm watching for a lower high off this gold move in order to look to trail a stop. That's my goal. If you guys want, by the way, let's do something that we have not done in a while. We're going to do something pretty cool. Right now, we're going to drop a link to our direct message center. If you guys want to try out or check out the Discord for free, the VIP version, if you want to check it out, if you want to see what it's all about, if you want to get a tour, if you want to, see what the Discord is all about, we are sharing every trade that we take. Me and my colleague Frank, we share all of the trades that we're taking. Frank is usually, he pops into these live streams sometimes. So if you guys would like to get a free tour, we're going to do this right now while we're on stream. There are 800 of you guys, so first come, first serve kind of deal here. But if you guys would like to get a tour of the full version, the VIP version, and what it entails, click this link that just got dropped in the chat. If you click that link and click, I would like a free tour of the EDGEFINDER or Discord VIP group. If you click that link, you'll be connected with a real person on my staff. And we actually just added a new feature where you can actually have a phone call or a video call or like a Zoom call kind of thing with someone on our staff. So if you'd like to tour the Discord, if you'd like to check out the VIP version, get access to the trading signals that we are sending out each day, please join us by clicking the link that's just been dropped and having a conversation with one of my staff members. We'd love to have you. We're looking for serious people. But again, we are continuing to monitor this position here on gold. We are in profit. We've had a really killer week so far. Again, it's a small short for me, but look at that. We're up $360 on a small position. That's not bad at all. We'll take that. You can see my P&L. I trade on a different brokerage just because I'm in the US. My limitations are there due to the fact that, again, I'm in the US. Regulation is really tight here. We can't trade on, I can't trade XAUUSD. It's a CFD, and we can't trade those. We have to trade on the stock exchange or the futures market. And so I just trade on a separate brokerage than most. What is your analysis? I'm a big bull on seasonality. GBP Aussie. I'm going to stick, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to stick to some of the USD pairs here for now. Thank you for the request. And we probably will do pound Aussie in the future, but I'm going to just keep an eye on some of the US currency pairs as well as US indices for you for the next few minutes. Look at that euro dollar just trading lower here. Overall, guys, dollar strength seems to be the story right now. Check this out. Dollar strength. As Gary mentioned, you know, this resistance level coming into play, daily chart, price is tapping up against that 103.5, right? Very, very close to tapping that level again. Is that a sell level? We'll see. Am I a dollar bear right now? In the short term, no. In the longer term, I think there may be some bearishness coming for the dollar. But I'm not shorting the dollar right now. I'm long the dollar technically by proxy. Well, not technically, not actually, but by proxy, I am short gold, which, right, if you think about it, if you're shorting gold, which is quoted in dollars, that's like selling gold, buying dollar, right? Is gold bullish now? So I am short. Like I said, we keep monitoring this position. This is something that I'm very, of course, I'm focused on because I am in this trade myself. I shorted it this, and so we continue to monitor this trade. What I'm looking for, guys, is can we break this low? This would be really big for the gold short position that I'm in. 1896 giving us some struggle. Let's see if we can get below this low. Would I short it here? No. The trade was here. I know, obviously, I'm speaking in hindsight, but I took this trade, right? So I knew where I was going to take that trade. I sent out that alert for a reason, right? Trade was taken here, so you can see why. You know, I took a gold trade earlier this week, and then I re-entered the short. I trailed out for a profit earlier this week, and I entered another trade. You can see this is the gold trade that I took earlier in the week, ended up trailing out for a profit, and then re-entered here this morning. So let me, I sold it this morning, 1906, basically. This was the trade idea. Sent it out to members. Stop was above the structure high, but then I later on have trailed that stop still to, you know, I could still technically take a loss in the trade, but I trimmed my risk is what I did. So you can see this is on my live account up 352. Again, I took like a half size position kind of thing because I knew meeting minutes were coming out and I didn't know what meeting minutes were going to do. I'm not a fortune teller. So I did like the setup, but I did also, I was trying to be cautious just ahead of that. Again, if you guys would like to try out the Discord, I mentioned this before. If we could drop that link in the chat again, we are doing VIP Discord tours. If you guys would like to check out all of the trades being shared by myself and by my staff, we are currently offering that. We don't usually do this. It is a first come, first serve thing. If you would like to have a direct message conversation with us, please chat with us by clicking this link. And if you do click that link, again, you get the chance to actually ask for a tour if you would like to. You'll be speaking with a real person. When I send you these live chats, you're not talking to a robot, you're talking to our staff members. So just click this link in the chat, click I would like a free tour of the Discord VIP group, start a chat, and let us know. And if it's easier for you, you can also call us on that line. So you can have a direct phone call conversation with someone on our staff if that's what you prefer, or you can just message us. But either way, it is free to do. So please use that link if you have not already. All right, gold continues to sink lower here. Again, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm looking for a chance to trail this stop. I would need some sort of higher low. I need something to form here. And that is going to be what I need before I'm able to trail a stop. Just a heads up, I don't have a take profit. If I go show you guys my actual trade, you'll see I don't have a take profit on, right? I just have a stop loss. My reason for that is because I trail stops. If you're newer to my channel, if you're newer to my content, you may not be familiar with my trading style. I trail stops. So for example, if this trade goes like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then like this, my goal would be to take this stop loss and follow price action and trail stops until the market reverses and I take profit. Okay. That's how I manage a trade. That is not my trading strategy. I use fundamentals, to help me find direction. And then I use technicals to actually find trading setups, entries, manage a trailing stop, so on and so forth. Sometimes people ask, Nick, do you trade purely technicals? And the answer is no. Frank and myself, who you'll see Frank in a second, I think he's going to join us for a minute in just a moment. Frank and I, we trade a mix of fundamentals and technicals in the market. And that is, I think, how I found this gold trade, right? The Chinese situation, slowdown in China, and now the meeting minutes sounding hawkish. Stocks, number one, I think look terrible. And gold also does not look promising. And again, I know I'm not trying to sound braggy, but I'm very glad that I caught this short because I'm feeling very confident that is where the fundamental trend right now is going. A couple weeks back, I was bullish on gold. Now I'm bearish on gold. As a trader, sometimes you do kind of have to be fluid with what's happening in front of us. And again, that's where I'm at. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to thank our sponsors here who make these streams possible. And you're going to hear about a great offer that they currently have. It's a brokerage that allows you to get free access to our software tools and Discord. There's no strings attached. You basically open an account with the partnered brokerage of this channel, and then you get access to our products for free. So watch this quick video, and then we'll be right back with Frank, and we'll ask what he thinks about the meeting minutes coming up right after this.
Attention A1 Trading Show fans. If you're interested in getting free access to the EDGEFINDER or our premium trade alerts, listen up. For a limited time, our show's partnered broker 8cap is giving out free access to our products when you sign up for a new trading account with them. If you already have a broker, you may want to consider switching to 8cap because of their low trading costs, a wide range of trading assets, and their amazing customer support. If you'd like to get access to our software and Discord server for free, click the link being dropped in the chat right now and ask one of our team members for more information. Don't miss your chance for free products and an award-winning broker. Now back to the A1 Trading Show.
All right, and we are back, joined by yours truly, as well as the one and only Frank. What's going on, Frank?
How's it going? What do you think
Pretty
of the
good.
Fed meeting or the minutes?
Well, it seems like it was just hawkish talk that the market itself does not seem to like. Fed seems to be leaving the door open to potentially more rate hikes. Now, of course, Frank, I mean, there's been kind of this defensive language from the Fed. I don't know how much of this is actually like, hey, they think it's very possible that another rate hike is on the table, or if they're kind of just being defensive. What do you think? And what do you make of this sell-off in indices as well as gold?
Well, so, I mean, we can go back to the last CPI report where month over month core and regular CPI just stayed the same, but year over year saw a rise. So obviously what investors thought was, okay, well, maybe there's going to be more restrictive policy going forward. And that's pretty much what I'm seeing so far. I haven't read the entire thing, and I don't think I will, but I've seen some snippets of what the news was like, and it sounds like they want to hold rates steady for this month at least. Doesn't mean they're not open to more rate hikes in the future. And I think the market, anyways, is expecting at least maybe one more by the end of the year. I'm not sure what will happen. Like obviously, we could see a higher rise in inflation in the next report. Core and CPI could end up coming up higher, or it still remains unchanged. But there's still that same old stuff. Very very high risk in inflation. Like they're concerned that it will not go the way they want it to. So yeah, I think they're just going to remain in this hawkish mixed tone for a while, and stocks will just sort of do the same thing.
Yeah, I think like possibly what is kind of happening to the market is that, if we pull up like the NASDAQ, right? The NASDAQ has just been, not so much recently, but, take a look at the daily chart. It's been a shoot to the moon recently, the last several months, if you're looking back. But I think what may be happening most recently, Frank, is what you're kind of talking about, where the Fed is, kind of just saying, you guys are getting really, excited, but there is very much still that possibility that inflation is still a big problem, and that Fed hikes are not off the table. And now the market is kind of being like, oh, wait, you're kind of serious about that? Inflation elevation for sustained period of time. If they don't see, all the right numbers, another rate hike is seemingly still kind of on the table. Again, most forecasts are still for no more rate hikes for now. But today's, kind of sentiment is perhaps just repricing things a little bit as there's a little challenge to that sentiment, right? Everybody's so confident that it's not going to happen. Well, today we're seeing a little bit of a shift in the other direction, even just a little bit of shift when everybody thinks, oh, no rate hikes are coming. And then there's like some hesitation there from the Fed and from what they're saying. It's like, wait a second, they're the ones who make the vote, not the general public. That still is on the table. So, what do you think about, is there any pressing setups that you're watching, Frank? Are you in any trades?
No, not yet. After just seeing what gold's been doing and the indices and oil, those were the three things I was looking at. And they all broke under what would be a bullish thesis for me. So the fact that it's underneath that now and closed underneath and is now moving lower, I think I can't really get bullish on this just yet. So I'm looking at lower levels around 43.80 on the S&P, just basic supply and demand zone. So another level at 43.30, and just see what happens, because it's not like you watch it hit a level and you take a trade. You kind of want to see what price action does. So watching it break under here means that, okay, well, let's watch another level down here. And then if it breaks that, let's watch another level. If we see any rejection and the day ends up positive, and like looking at this candle right here, that just shows nice rejection, and it leads to several more days of upside, then that's something to look at. But right now, it's just going back and forth, and then all of a sudden it has this sell-off, makes lower lows. So nothing really promising. I know COT showed us that it was buying, but that can also take weeks where they buy into these moves and then it eventually moves up. But it really just depends on what happens. So like we can't predict. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens before we make a decision.
Right. Exactly. No, and that's the thing is, we're watching and waiting and seeing. I think that with the indices, we've made this kind of point. Both of us are kind of on the same fence about indices. It's like, overall still bullish, but got to wait to see, like you said, how does price react to certain levels? If it starts to show strength, for people who have been watching Frank and I, we've been doing these together for months. We've been trading together for years. If you guys have listened to us for any amount of time, Frank and I are not quick to buy a market that's in free fall, and we're not quick to short a market that's just screaming higher. We're very hesitant actually on moves like that to try and go against them. We're very much looking to continue the move. I'm short on gold. If you guys are regular viewers on the show, then Frank has talked about, he was long oil for a while. I think you're no longer in that trade, right, Frank? Are you out of? Yep. So you got out of oil. It's pretty predictable stuff when you watch us long enough. We are joining moves that look like this. We are out of moves when they stop moving that way. It's the simplest, dumbest kind of concept, but it kind of tends to work, right? Going against the trend is a very difficult way to trade. And, I think, the other thing, Frank, is, we point out retail sentiment often shows us that as well, right? Most of the time when a market is just charging higher, the retail crowd is, banging their head against the wall, shorting it. And when the market is just in free fall, we usually see retail traders buying it like crazy. And I'll just make mention to what I'm talking about, because there's a lot of you guys in here who have probably never been on the streams before. I'm not saying that out of like the top of my head, like, oh, I've been asking retail traders what they're buying. But we can actually see that data from a couple brokerages, and we have displayed it on our company's software tool, the EDGEFINDER. So for example, let's take a look at dollar yen. This is a good example right now. So if we just looked at dollar yen, I bet is just killing it right now. Yeah, look at dollar yen. So dollar yen just broke out of resistance. This is a daily chart, and it's just trending and trending and trending. And almost predictably, retail traders are short on this pair at a dramatic rate of 74%. So if we asked 100 people who traded forex retail level, 74 of those people on average are shorting dollar yen, and the chart looks incredibly bullish. This is something that we talk about often, but anyways, that's another, we could go into topics like that for another 30 minutes. Frank, I don't want to keep you on too long. Thank you for joining, going over kind of your first reactions here to the meeting minutes, and we'll bring you back on for tomorrow's show.
Sure. Thanks.
See you, Frank. Yep, guys, always good to have Frank on. Frank, like I said, him and I have been trading together for years and years, just talking markets, and it's a privilege to have that. Just so you know, we're both very thankful to actually have somebody to do this stuff with. It's very cool. Indices making a little bit of a move back up, trying to bounce. Gold probably same thing. Yep. So I'm still in my gold trade, guys. I am watching this this 1900. Is 1900 going to bounce again? We've had 1900 bounce a couple times. Obviously, I'm short, so I would like it to keep going lower, but the market doesn't do what I would like it to do. The market does what the market wants to do. I am going to stay in this short trade until we get a lower high. And actually, this is what we need, right? If I'm going to trail a stop on this trade, I need this thing to put in something like this. This is, according to my rules, how I trail a stop. I need a higher low to form, showing me that buyers have been pushed out of the market and sellers resume. Now, will this market full on reverse? Maybe, but in that case, I'll just take a small loss. I've controlled my risk on this trade. I'm happy to keep my stop loss where it is until we potentially form a lower high. I mentioned this earlier, guys. We are sharing every trade that Frank and I are taking inside of the Discord channel. If you would like to get those alerts sent to your phone, you can see trades that Frank is taking. You can see trades that I am taking, so on and so forth. If you would like to get those notifications sent directly to you, we are doing something that we haven't done in a while. We are currently giving tours and letting people check out the VIP version of our Discord. If you want to see signals that we are taking, if you want to understand why we are taking the trades we're taking, if you're looking to learn something, this is the group for you. If you like Frank and I's style of trading, if you like momentum trading, if you want to learn the strategies we're using, all of it is available within our Discord community. And again, like I mentioned, we are doing tours. We're letting people check out the software. If you would like some information about that, please message us right here. Click this link. while we are live here, there are real people on the other end of that link. When you direct message us, again, you will be taken to a place where you can actually have a chat conversation with someone on my staff. So just put your name and email in there, click I would like a free tour of the Discord group, and someone from our team right now will hook you up to see what the Discord is like, to answer some of your questions. We'll also share some track record details with you, show you some trade examples. Let's see if it's a fit for you. We don't want to sell something to you that's not a fit. So please message us and we'll explore that with you. Again, it is totally free of charge. You can now call us on our website if you would prefer to call us. When you click that link, start a conversation with us, you'll have the option to phone call us, which is really cool. It's a phone call, but it's through the internet. So it's, I don't know what you call that. It's almost like a Zoom call, but not Zoom. So again, if you want to do that, feel free to do that. If you would like to actually speak with a representative on my staff, that is available to you now. Again, we are looking for serious traders. We're looking for people who want to join a community, learn real trading skills. If that is something that would be helpful to you, again, hit up our phone line. So let's see. Why can't we set it to break even, Nick? I don't personally like to do break even very often. I like to look for, you know, I did tighten my stop. My initial stop was up here. I ended up trailing my stop. And again, I share all these updates with why I'm doing it in the Discord. That is also why, you know, if you're looking to understand why I'm doing certain things, the best way to do it is to literally watch what is being done. Right. So I said I'm tightening my stop loss to manage my risk ahead of the meeting minutes in 1.5 hours. So that was obviously, you know, about 2 hours ago. And we tightened that stop loss. So you can see my initial trade was here. We had a nice move in the direction. And I just was like, you know what? We have meeting minutes. Let me go ahead and tighten that stop loss. And that is, of course, what we have done inside of the group. I am looking, guys, for an opportunity to trail this stop further into profit. Will I move it to something like this? I would like to see this thing close bearish, and then I may look to actually trail this stop and lock in a profit on this move. It's a very nice move so far. Again, just managing my trade here on gold. For people wondering, would you enter anything now? The answer for me would be no, right? I am bearish on this market. I am trading the retracements on gold, and I can't really trade the retracement when it's down here, right? The trade was already up here. We took that trade this morning. We are now reaping the rewards of that trade. So, yeah. I wish you had Telegram signals. We share some free analysis in Telegram. If you guys would like information, again, message us. You can ask our reps. They're fully trained to give you access to all of our stuff. But yes, we share all of the trades that we're taking. If you want to get entry alerts, exit alerts, when I'm taking them, when Frank's taking them, they are there in the chat. Yes, and there also is a Telegram channel in the description. But again, the alerts are reserved for our members. We also do coaching webinars, things like that. How are these indices reacting here? Indices kind of chopping back and forth. Not a really decisive move here off the hourly. Though for me with the indices, I'm not going to really be bullish until, you know, we got to see some strength, some real strength come back into this market before I'm looking to get long again. Can you summarize report outcomes, positive or negative? I think you're talking about a track record. If you would like to access our track record, just message us. Again, if we could drop that link again for people who would like to message us. If you would like access to the track record, if you'd like access to some examples of trades being taken, direct message us. I can't answer everybody just over live chat. So if you'd like to speak with someone who is qualified to, you know, answer those questions, you can message in on our support line. Euro dollar still very weak. Look at this. Euro dollar trying to bounce here, but still very bearish. Euro dollar still looks very, very much in a tough spot. I'm not buying this, right? Oftentimes people will see a support level and they'll be like, oh, is it going to bounce all the way back up? Maybe, but that's not the trade that I look for. I look for those retracements. And then the highest probability trades for me are trend continuation trades that I really like to go for. Gold buy. I just can't justify it. Gold looks too bearish. I'm in a short trade right now. Lower highs off the hourly, lower highs off the 4 hour, just very, very bearish price action. If you're longer term, then perhaps there's something that you're looking for. But for me, I'm trading the hourly, trading the 4 hour chart. This is just very bearish for now. Fed reports outcome positive or negative. Live Trading India asks. Very strong for the dollar right now. So that would be negative for things like gold and indices, but indices bouncing pretty good here. Pound dollar. The pound has been really strong recently. I mean, look at this. Despite some dollar strength, the pound is still strong. Pound, however, though, still just in a range. I'd like to see this thing break before there's really any interest for me. US oil still getting bullish readings. Dollar Swiss. Gold is still getting that bearish reading, so I'm happy I'm still in that. Aussie dollar. Is this one setting up? Nope. Not quite ready. Nice move, though. I mean, Australian dollar looking not bad if it does pull back. I'm also not really in a rush to take trades because, again, I already have this one open. We're up $285 on that one, so nothing crazy. Small short position for me on gold, but we've been on a win streak this week, so I'm just trying to keep it controlled. We shorted euro dollar this week. We shorted gold once before this week, and now we're on a second gold short, which is looking pretty good. Appreciate your hard work, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much. If you guys are enjoying the stream, we had Frank on, we had Gary on earlier. There's a lot of work that goes into planning these streams. If you guys are enjoying it, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. We've got, for newer people just tuning in, there's a couple people who coordinate these streams. There's somebody behind kind of doing the audio and visual booth for these streams and coordinating guests to come on. We work really, really hard. And for those of you guys who do drop supportive messages like that, I just want to say it really, really does mean a lot, to me as well as to my team. There's a lot of love and a lot of hard work that goes into these shows, and we are happy to do them every day. And we very much appreciate the support. Prediction for gold. I'm not really predicting here. My goal is to just manage my current position. I am short as of 1906. Stop loss is still up here. So technically I could still take a loss on this trade if it does full on reverse, but I am looking for this lower high to form in order to trail a stop. I should probably remove this white line. I do not have my stop loss trailed. Again, stop loss is still in place. Floating $300 now. Just managing this position. Yep, gold sell. I wouldn't really necessarily personally be selling it here either. The sell trade, I know obviously in hindsight, I'm not trying to call signals out for you guys right here on the live, because again, if I just forced out like, oh, this is what I'm doing right now all the time, I'd be like scalping, and I'm not a scalper. I'm a day trader / swing trader, kind of a mix in between. I sold this morning, popped into a zone I liked, and now I'm just managing a trade. And sometimes managing a trade can be very boring. Sometimes you're just sitting there and waiting for it to make its next leg lower, and then you trail stops and so on and so forth. But it's I never should complain about trailing a stop. It's a great spot to be in. So, and again, if you guys are enjoying the streams, we do these Monday through Friday. We're always tuning in to major news events. You guys can always come back. If there's a major news event I would give you a 95% shot that if there's a major US news event, or usually some UK, definitely a lot of Canada, if there's a major news event, most likely we are here on air, myself and a guest, taking on the markets. So subscribe if you're new. Nick, should you only watch one chart or more? Up to you. Depends what your strategy is. For me, I watch a couple things, but I mostly will watch what is on this watch list. I usually keep my most attention to these, the very bullish or very bearish signals that we're getting off the EDGEFINDER. But I have some selective favorites. So in this case, you can see I am short biased on gold. Why are we short biased? Well, the breakdowns here can be found across the top of the screen. These are why we are bullish or bearish certain assets. If you don't have access to the EDGEFINDER, you can also, I should say this, if you guys would like a tour of the EDGEFINDER, you can also request an EDGEFINDER tour by messaging us right now. Let's do that one more time here. For those of you guys who missed it, if you guys would like to tour the VIP signals group, or if you'd like to tour the EDGEFINDER, check it out for yourself, see all the different features here, click this link. It'll take you to a direct message center where you can ask to trial out the EDGEFINDER or to check out the Discord. Again, you'll be connected with a real person on my team. So take advantage. That's going to be it for me here, guys. Click that link again if you want any interest. If you have any interest in checking out the tools that we're using or the Discord VIP. Thank you guys very much for joining us on this show. I hope you did enjoy as much as I did, and we will see you back tomorrow for more streaming. Have a great rest of your day.
And that concludes today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to keep you up to date with the latest market coverage through our daily videos and articles. If you like our content, make sure to subscribe for more. You can get funded today up to $200K with FX2 funding. Use our code A1Trading15 for a special discount. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.